Okay, here's question number 26 on the higher non-calculator paper. There are two parts to this question and they're both 2 marks each, so 4 marks altogether. Let's read this first bit. Rationalize the denominator of, and it's 5 over the square root of 2. Now rationalize means to get rid of the square root in the denominator. Okay, and there's a standard technique to this. So I've got 5 square root 2. In order to get rid of the square root, I need to times that fraction by something. And I'm going to times that fraction by the square root of 2 over the square root of 2. Okay, I could go on to explain this, but this should be the standard technique that you're familiar with. Because in the denominator here it's square root of 2, I'm going to times both top and bottom by square root of 2. Now you should be familiar with your rules of surd, and one of them says the square root of a times the square root of a is just a. So that means when I times the denominators together, root 2 times root 2 is just going to give me 2, and in the top that's 5 root 2. We don't write the time sign in surds. And that's my final answer. 5 root 2 over 2. And that's it. I've gotten rid of the square root in the denominator, and that's my result overall. Okay, going on to part B. Part B, expand and simplify. And they've gotten 2 expressions here. And the first one is 2 plus the square root of 3 all squared, and the second one is 2 minus the square root of 3 all squared. Now there are a couple of ways of doing this particular question, some a bit more cleverer than others. I'm actually going to use the technique which I think most students would use, right? You've got 2 plus root 3 squared, so that means you're going to times it by itself. 2 plus the square root of 3, 2 plus the square root of 3. And you're going to take away, and I'm going to do the same to this side. Because it's squared, it's 2 of the same times together, so 2 minus root 3 and 2 minus root 3. And most people at this level could do this question, right, if there were x's in it. It operates exactly the same, even though there are not x's in there. So I'm going to multiply through. I'm going to leave my answer in brackets at the end though. Right? 2 times 2 is 4. Right? 2 times root 3 is 2 root 3. And then root 3 times 2 is 2 root 3 plus. And root 3 times root 3. Remember what I did up here? Yeah. 2 of the same times together just gives you the number. So root 3 times root 3 is simply going to be 3. And I'm going to put minus, and again I'll put this answer in brackets. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times minus root 3 is minus 2 root 3. Minus root 3 times 2 is minus 2 root 3. And minus root 3 times minus root 3, a minus times a minus is a plus, and root 3 times root 3 is simply 3. Okay, one of the reasons why I left it in brackets because I know this minus sign here is going to make a difference to the things inside. So if I'm going to remove the brackets in both of them. So if I remove the brackets from the first one, it's just positive at the front, so that stays the same, plus 4 root, or 2 root 3, plus 2 root 3, plus 3. And now, if I take this brackets off here, and that minus sign goes through. So that minus sign changes the 4 to minus 4. Minus 2 root 3 is going to become plus 2 root 3. Minus 2 root 3, again that's going to become plus 2 root 3. And minus plus 3, so that's going to become minus 3. Alright, I've done most of the hard work here already, and I'm going to start working my way through, just bringing the number and then bringing the roots together. So the numbers that I have are 4 plus 3 minus 4 minus 3. And as I do that, I'm going to realize that these are going to cancel each other out. Plus 4 and minus 4 is 0. plus 3 and minus 3 is 0. So all the numbers cancel each other out. So let's look at what I've got left. I've got plus 2 root 3, plus 2 root 3, plus 2 root 3, plus 2 root 3. So that's 2, 4, 6, 8. So altogether what I get left with is 8. And that is my final answer. That's what I'd write in my answer space, 8 root 3. And that's the overall answer to this question.